everybody. I'm Jesse, and welcome to another edition of Genex Thinks Live. And today is Thursday, February 12th. Crash, what's up, Crash? Glad to see you here. Hanging with Christopher. Hey there, buddy. Glad you could make it. Dog Karma. Hey, Dog Karma. Glad to see you too. Oliver Rust. What's up, Oliver? User Be Intuitive. There he is. How you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. Las Vegas. You missed winter? We didn't miss it here in Florida. It got pretty cold here. All right. So what are we going to talk about today? Y'all are probably going to be pissed off, but yeah, I've been listening to Matt Walsh again. That dude, I agree with a lot of what he says. Don't get me wrong. That's why honestly, he's the only one. I used to listen to a lot of these talking heads like myself. I'm a talking head, I guess. But I used to listen to a lot of them, but I pared it down to just him. And he keeps putting himself on rocky ground, shaky ground with me. Raziel, what's up, Raziel? Glad to see you here. His latest thing that he's talking about here is he's anti-marijuana, and all of y'all know. Well, some of y'all are newer, so I'll refresh everybody's memory here. Tripwire, what's up, Trip? Glad to see you here, all the way from Australia. I don't smoke weed. I'm not against it. I would smoke weed if I could. It turns me into a damn turnip. I'm just a vegetable on the couch staring at the ceiling for 6 hours, wishing it would stop. So I never could get used to that shit. I never did, get over that hump. So I don't use that shit. But everybody else, I don't care what the hell different. It doesn't, no skin off my nose. So people who want to smoke weed or eat weed or whatever they do with weed, be my guest. I don't care. But Matt Walsh cares. He wants everybody else to stop, because he doesn't smoke weed. He doesn't think anybody else should either. And I was listening to him, and he's rattling off these studies about how weed is like a psychotic. He's listing off these things about how it actually, what was the thing he said? Now I'm mind blanking on it. The one where you have multiple personalities and that kind of shit. And he's listing all these major psychotic maladies, I guess you would call it, or whatever, that supposedly he's saying by all these studies, marijuana is directly linked to causing these things. And he's saying this, and a lot of people will listen to him and believe that shit. Okay. And he's talking from a 100% Republican standpoint. I vote Republican, and no matter what kind of idiot puppet they put up there for me, I'll show you. I'll vote for him. You know what I mean? So strictly Republican standpoint, and that's another bone I have to pick with him. The whole just Republican all the way. And then he'll cry about the Republican politicians up there doing their job, which is helping the Democrats. That's their damn job. They're doing what they're told to do up there. But yeah, and I have known a lot of people that smoke weed on a daily basis. Lots and lots of people. I have smoked weed in my life, and never have I ever seen anyone go into a schizophrenic break or a psychotic break due to weed. And this is real life experience. This isn't me reading something that somebody said on the internet and then regurgitating it. I'm talking about from my personal life. I've never seen weed send anybody into a psychotic rage. Never, not once, ever. You know what I mean? Never, ever, ever. 0%. And this is through life experience. So for people to get up there and just regurgitate shit that they found on the internet and say that's evidence for something, that just because the evidence supports their side of the aisle, you know what I mean? Uh, I've got a problem with that. Is that Man Don? What's up, Man Don? Jeff Seven Duncan, what's up? Yeah, being too. I listen to him because he says a lot of the stuff he says I agree with. I'll be honest, a lot of stuff he says I agree with, and that's why I listen to him. But then he'll spout some shit like that I just can't. Republicans are supposed to be about the Constitution and freedom. So why would you want to take someone else's freedom? Why would you want to? Why? No pothead has ever injured Matt Walsh. You know what I mean? No, never, ever. He never said, you know what? I was mobbed by a gang of potheads, and they had crazy eyes, and they were swinging bats at me and shit or something. He doesn't have any examples like that from his real life because it's never happened. He has no actual proof from his living life where potheads are violent, psychotic, people. Nowhere. So for him to sit there and say that pot, that nobody else should be able to smoke pot just because he doesn't think so, that's just a little ridiculous for me. Lyrene, what's up, Lyrene? Those of y'all who know me, I believe in freedom. I don't believe in the war on drugs, especially weed. If you want to smoke weed, smoke weed. I don't care. You know what I mean? So I believe that we put people in prison to facilitate the privately owned prison industry, to grease people's palms. Yeah, Christopher, weed's never killed anyone. No one has ever overdosed on weed and had to go to the hospital and had shit, whatever that stuff is. They Narcan or whatever. They don't hand out Narcan to potheads. They just don't. Yeah. Ski. What's up, Ski? Oh, all right. Okay, Ski. Ski says, I smoke weed on the daily and run a successful recording studio, among other things. Okay, Ski. So how do you do that? How do you balance your successful recording studio with your psychotic breaks? You know what I mean? How do you do that? Do you have a gang of people that just tackle you and put you in a straight suit when the weed sends you into a psychotic episode? Is that how you do it? Because inquiring minds want to know, how are people able to function when when scientists are saying that weed send us into psychotic breaks and all this schizophrenia and shit. Shannon, what's up, Shannon? Glad to see you here. Glad you can make it. Brad Davis. All right. I'm a jerky eater. I love beef jerky. Oh, gee, there he is. For everyone and nothing to do with individual rights. Constitution is a social contract, not a freedom contract. I don't give a shit. I believe in personal freedom and individuality. I believe in individual rights and individual liberties. If it's not, again, what's a social contract? A social contract is I do not harm another person. That's a social contract. What I do for me, myself, nobody has any right to say that. Nobody has any right to choose for me what I do with my body, what I do with my land, what I do with my property, as long as I'm not harming anyone else. That's a social contract. When you're talking about that, when you start delving into other people's privileges of what they put into their own bodies and what they do with their own private property and stuff, now you're authoritarian. Now you're enforcing your just beliefs on someone else. Well, okay, if if you say that I'm not allowed to smoke weed because it's just bad for me, well, what else is bad for me that I'm not allowed to do? It depends on who's up there, who's making the rules. What if they say Christianity is bad for me or whatever else is bad for me and I'm not allowed to do that anymore? What if owning property, period, that's bad for me? Okay, I can pull up scientific studies where owning property is bad for you. It's bad for your health. So you can take that too far, and they already have. It's already gone too far. You were mildly annoyed for 10 minutes. You didn't start swinging axes and baseball bats and shit, Roz, when you ran out. Clonopin. Clonopin. Living and active. What's up, living? Yeah, the abyss will return your scream when it's your turn. Yeah. You're allergic, V? All right. Jim from Maryland. What's up, Jim? Yeah. Oh, electroshock too, ski. Electroshock. Yeah. Give me the juice. He said, I need the juice. I'm going into a weed rage. I need the juice. All right. Smoking weed the whole way. Dread Raider, what's up, Dread Raider 420? I know just by your handle, dude, that you're opposed to weed, right? When people get used to preferential treatment, equal treatment seems like discrimination. It made me write bad checks. Yeah, freedom isn't free, Duncan. Yeah, be intuitive. Yeah, do whatever you like as long as you're not harming others or yourself. Uh, Now, you can risk harm to yourself. We do it all the time. Chaz would be out of a job. He's a skydiver, and he'd be out of a job if you weren't allowed to put yourself at risk. We put ourselves at risk every day. So risking harm to yourself, you shouldn't be able to risk harm to others, not directly, but we do that every day by driving. So, as long as you're not strictly harming other people, I don't see where I'd have to really look into it, and somebody'd have to show me some examples where harming yourself would be bad, unless you're cutting yourself or something and you actually have a psychotic break. But smoking weed, smoking cigarettes, tobacco, that kind of stuff, I don't see why they tax the shit out of tobacco. And just why do they always rob us for more money? That's how they cure shit, right? We'll just raise the prices. We just tax the shit out of cigarettes and take people's money, and that's how. Don't why not just stop them from making cigarettes? Those companies. Scott Bonata, what's up? Almost bedtime. Holy shit. Where you at, Scott? Jeff Boyardee, what's up? I love it when Jeff Boyardee shows up. I just like saying that. Hanging with Christopher. Gummies, yeah. Oh, thanks, Razia. Who got the gift membership? Peter Poynton, what's up, Peter? Welcome to the True Elite Club, Gen X Think membership. We have members only episodes on Sunday mornings, Peter, 6 o'clock Eastern time. we're talking about ancient technology. If you're interested, you're heartily invited to join the conversation. Yeah, Dread Raider. Yep. Yeah. USMC will pay most of your share. Yeah. Yeah, best to keep it from in your home or property. If you want to, yeah, to do stuff in public, okay, laws against that. That's fair. Yep, I would agree with that. But to say that you're not allowed to do stuff in the privacy of your own home, harming no one else. Now we're getting into into territory that I have a problem with. OG Tango, what's up? Yeah, it's dangerous to be alive, OG. That's, yeah. Hurst, what's up? You can be stoned and not stupid. Yeah, I think a lot of people have been doing that for quite a while. Yeah, if you're not taking risks, you're not living life, V. Your own tobacco? Oh, that's awesome, OG. Within 15 minutes of your home. Yeah, I believe that, Jim. Therapy helped, Christopher. Yeah, some people need it. Some people need medication. Yeah, we all go through dark times, and sometimes we need a helping hand. Uh, that's just common sense, you know. Um, but for the law to step in, and the government to step in and write eternal laws for what we are allowed and not allowed to do within the privacy of our own home, with our own property, uh, it, that's just a step beyond, in my opinion. There's a coastie station. All right, Christopher, that's awesome, dude. Our whole military is based on ancient alien technology. Yeah, that's what we're not necessarily alien, but we're talking about ancient technology on Sunday mornings. That's a fascinating subject. Popeye, there he is. What's up, Popeye? Glad to see you here. Glad you could make it. Left your glasses at the doctor. Shit. Tyler, what's up, Tyler? Glad you could make it, Tyler. Oh, okay. Oh, damn. Okay. Yeah. Well, at least the infection's gone. Yeah, Christopher, we test our metal. Excuse me. Yeah, yeah, sedition. Yeah, our guardian angels. Yep. Chain smoking and a drinking problem. Yeah, it is what it is. All right. Yeah, PTSD. Yeah, we all deal with Rex Chaoticus. What's up, Rex? Yeah. Yeah, ski weed the medicinal values of weed are well documented, you know what I mean? Why they want to come up with all this other shit is crazy. And that it ties into the medical industry and the pharmaceutical industry and all that. They cannot put a patent on weed, right? You can grow that shit in your backyard, but they control it as best they can. Like they've fought to keep it illegal here in Florida. Um, with the propaganda and stuff, because the Florida voters, we vote on it once in a while. It'll come up in the polls, but not enough people vote for it. We need a 60% majority of the people to pass, and it gets like 59% and shit. So the majority of people want it, but not a big enough majority. That's because just before the election or the poll, uh, they always do this big propaganda thing about how, like, talking the shit that Matt Walsh does about how horrible it is and how many people have died, and how, they'll have testimonies from people whose lives were just ruined by weed, and all this shit. It's disgusting to watch these commercials. It really is. I'm sure few have a negative reaction to all kinds of shit. Beef, water, uh, noodles. Yeah, everybody's gonna have a bad reaction to something. People have a bad reaction to peanut butter. Yeah, Popeye, everything's going good. Still working. That's the only thing that's going bad. I still got to go to work. Blaze up, stay up. Blaze up to stay up. Did we have an upbringing or tough love? Uh, I don't know about that's probably different compared to, depending on each person. My parents just literally did not give a shit. It wasn't any kind of tough love. You know what I mean? They just didn't care. So, the if they cared, it would be called tough love. But they just didn't give a shit. Yeah, the poison and medications, all of the actual look at the deaths caused by the opioid epidemic with all these prescribed medications. And people still have the gall to get up there in front of a camera and talk shit about weed. Just millions of people dead because of pharmaceuticals, and that's just one pill. That's just one. Not if you went across and gauged all of them. Did all the statistics on every pharmaceutical, the number would be staggering. Dusty Loner, what's up? 72. All right. I'm 71. Glad to see you here, Dusty. Glad you could make it, man. Erica, what's up, Erica? Glad you could make it too, Erica. Dominion, yeah. Ski, yep. Yeah, yeah, Duncan, that's true. Too many people don't know how to live honestly. Yeah, and I was talking to a guy, and he was talking about his brother and how his brother is and stuff. And I pointed out that some people hold the cognitive dissonance that everyone else is prey, but at the same time, they themselves are the victims. So when they talk to other people, they will sound like the victim when they are just screwing over everybody all the time. It's actually, from a psychological perspective, when you think, it's interesting. You know what I mean? If you're just looking at it from a psychological, kind of analytical, scientific perspective, that's just fascinating. How someone can hold those two opposing views in their mind. Cognitive dissonance is fascinating, just as a thing. I know it's frustrating for actual thinking people, but all that cognitive dissonance you see throughout society, uh, it's insane. The whole diversity thing is cognitive dissonance. We need diversity. We need to be all inclusive and include everyone, except for some of these people. These people who are the wrong color and the wrong religion, and who are transphobic, and all these. We got to exclude all these people, so we just have a tiny little group of diverse. That kind of woke shit. Um, that's cognitive dissonance, where it goes completely against everything we've ever been taught, where everyone is the same. We're all supposed to be colorblind, and gender blind and all that stuff. That's completely gone out the window due to diversity, right? Oh, got furniture weed, Hurst. Yeah. Ecstasy Rising is a good watch. All right. Documentary by Peter Jennings. Ecstasy Rising. Yeah. Yeah, Raziel. Yeah, all that store bought shit. Yeah. You probably had a bad reaction to the chemicals they were soaked in. The government didn't make jerky out of any of my kids. They're alive and well. Yeah, yeah. The well, that's that's personally how my parents were. They, they were they were the originators of the don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, weed doesn't have a page of side effects like SSRIs. The only side effect is I'm high. Yeah, yeah. Crack cocaine and the CIA. Yeah, they've been funneling that shit into our country for decades. No, no, I'm convinced that cannabis isn't the problem, OG. Yeah. Astronomus Dallas. Dallas, what's up, Dallas? Glad to see you here. Glad you can make it. Speak of the devil, and he does appear. What's up, Chaz? Living dangerously. There he is right there. That's the skydiver I was talking about earlier. He risks his life every day. So we'd have to outlaw Chaz if we outlawed, everything that was dangerous to ourselves. We got to be able to put ourselves at risk, or we're not free. Yeah, nobody's OD'd on THC ever. Yeah, I said that earlier, Hirsch. No, nobody ever, never in the history of the plant has anyone been rushed to the hospital to get, shit. Now I can't remember the word. I just said it. To get hit with that shit to wake them out of OD. Ecstasy can turn your skin blue. So can aspirin. Weed. I bet weed will turn your skin blue too. I know Oxycontin will turn your skin the color of dirt. Yeah, diversity dilutes intelligence. We're getting too weird for the world, Duncan. Your house is made of hemp? For real? Are you being for real, OG? That'd be awesome. I saw those where they make those hemp bricks. That's a real thing. If you're being honest, dude, that's awesome. Or are you just pulling my leg? Peter Jennings? Hell no, Peter Jennings isn't still alive. I thought he died, No, I don't know. I'm just messing around intuitive. He may be like 110 years old or something. Diversity means keeping unique things unique, not smashing that all together into meaningless paste. Exactly, living. Epstein coin jerky. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm against baby eater laws. 2001. All right. Yeah, laughing your ass off for no reason at all, huh, Sedition? MacGyver opportunities at the car and boat yard. All right, hell yeah. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Fish smoke seaweed. Yeah, maybe, dude. Over in Vero for the weekend. Okay. Montana? That is surprising, dude. Montana has the most alcoholics and drug addicts per capita. That is really surprising. I would not have guessed that. That would have been my last guess. Weed makes your blood weed. Weed makes your blood green. Yeah, you can make anything out of hemp. I've heard that hemp is like one of the most versatile materials on the planet. Narcan, yeah, that's it, Jeff Boyardee. Yeah. Reloading, everybody. Hit the pause button. Chaz is reloading. To the refrigerator, Popeye? Yeah. Turned your brain blue, Jeff. I heard that Hursty made a hemp car. Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, you killed their high, Christopher. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's a wonderful renewable resource. Hemp can even be used as a fuel heating and diesel fuel. All right. Oh, okay. As a body made of plastic from hemp. Okay. Yeah, we're glad you're okay now, Trip. We missed you, buddy. Oh, okay. All right, Erica. I think I think a lot of us have done that before. Yeah, Christopher, Alaska or something like that. Yeah, me too. You had some killer hemp Chuck Taylors, Analog Kid. What's up, Analog Kid? We ain't seen you in a while, dude. Glad to see you back. Yeah, hemp Chuck Taylors. Those would be awesome. Yeah, 95 people in Montana. So 15 drunks. That's like whatever percent of the population, 10, not 10%, that'd be 9.5. So 20% of the population. Oh, okay. All right, Ski. And then depending on where you got it, it might have been something else, not the actual weed. Oh, okay. V. Alaska used to be the worst. Hempcrete. I think I've heard of that before too. I've seen those blocks underground. They're just hemp blocks, compressed hemp fibers. They're just making, just fit them together like cinder blocks. Pretty damn cool. Vintage, there he is. Hey, Vintage, glad to see you here, buddy. Glad you could make it. Visit us from down under. They have Huckleberry beer in Montana. That's awesome, Chaz. I've always wanted to go to Montana. I've seen it in pictures and in the movies. It just looks like beautiful country. Hemp oil burns as well as diesel or kerosene. So why aren't well, we know why, for money, because anybody could do that. So they've got us all addicted to all their bullshit, right? Class A diesel pusher V, hell yeah. DVS, what's up, DVS? He's already smoked 2 joints since the beginning of the show. uh, Working on a bowl of cinnamon toast crunch. Hell yeah, DV. Oh, yeah, Robotussin, yep. Well, there he is, Tomcat. What's going on, Tomcat? Yeah, I did Robo back in high school too. MJ, what's up, MJ? Glad to see you here. I don't know, Brad. How many? I need to see the stats on that one. Yeah, that is crazy though. That shit. Brad just throws random shit in there, but that is nuts. What's going on with that whole Epstein thing? And the Super Bowl diverted everybody's attention from it and shit. But that shit's crazy. Just to realize what's going on. I mean, we all knew it beforehand, right? Everybody was a conspiracy theorist who said that shit beforehand, but now we know. And just like I always say, if we find out, if we find out about the aliens, everybody's going to shrug and go back to work. Everybody's going to shrug and go back to work. That's what happens. Northern Montana, okay, V. 104-year-old lady, her first skydive. Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome, Chaz. Oh, okay, ski. It was real stuff. All right. Yeah, 5 times stronger than pine and grows faster too. I believe that. Yeah, I heard that too, Jeff, that Thomas Jefferson was a hemp farmer. Yeah, cannabis hemp textiles need to make a comeback. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I smoked 2 joints before I smoked 2 joints, and then I smoked 2 more. What song is that from, OG? French bread with butter and a hot coffee, MJ. That's awesome. Yeah. Oh, okay. Doctors Today vintage. Well, I hope everything turns out all right for you, vintage. I hope you get good news every time you go to the doctor. Cold meds, sedition. All right. Yeah, they've been something going around this year. Hall's drops or chloroseptic spray. Let's see, living. I honestly, I don't ever take anything. Um, I'm just, I don't know. I don't ever really take anything. Maybe aspirin once in a while, or my wife will get me to take Tylenol once in a while. But honestly, I don't normally take anything for when I have a cold unless it's really bad. So what would I take? I guess I'd take the chloroseptic spray. Yeah, that stuff's kind of fun. It makes your whole back of your throat numb. A couple times I have taken it years ago, though. I remember it. Sublime, yeah, Jeff. Yeah, gave up on Martians. Yeah, me too, Christopher. Yeah, all right, Jason. What's up, Jason? Glad to see you here. Soylent Gaga Goo Goo. Yeah, MJ. Yeah, Jason. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But they're in tight with the prison, the privately owned prison industry. So they've got to keep their donors happy, right? Uh, so that they're not going to do that. USA, the currency was hemp. And coffee, tobacco, and beer, your food group. Analog kid, fear no beer. Everyone has to believe in something. I believe I'll have another root beer. Yeah, V. We all got to believe in something, right? Yeah, somebody else said that earlier underground that Sublime did a cover of it. So but that makes sense. Duncan, yeah, you take an ibuprofen once in a while. Yeah, that's how I am with Tyler. I might take it. I went for a spell. I was taking ibuprofen because just pain, in my elbow and stuff, and it didn't help. So I just quit taking that shit. I don't take it, but as a rule throughout my life, I rarely take anything. Um, but once in a while, I'll take something for a headache or something like that. But the normal pain, just normal body aches and pains, I just live with them. That shit doesn't really help anyway. And if I got something that did help, it's probably addictive, and I'd end up in the hospital with OD'd. Drinking lots of water and taking vitamin C, yeah, that's not a bad idea. Sedition. I didn't watch the Super Bowl at all. I quit watching football years ago when they kneeled during the anthem. Uh, I paid absolutely zero attention to either halftime show. I used to wait for the bus with a Sprite bottle half filled with Sprite and whiskey. Oh, and blackberry brandy. Holy shit! Yeah, chicken soup and Sprite analog. Yeah, MJ. Yeah, the world is messed up, dude, and we got to laugh. We got to find humor in it wherever we can. Yeah, Tomcat firearms were used to be shipped to our front door through the Sears catalog. Theraflu. Blackberry brandy is good shit, Roz. I've never had it. Yeah, that's one of the things I just made kind of a decision in my life to support companies that are doing the right thing, and the NFL doesn't do the right thing, so I quit supporting them. Need a robot body? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, MJ, yeah, yeah, me neither. Once in a blue moon, I might take something, especially if my wife talks me into it. But other than that, no, I don't take shit. Alex, what's up, Alex? Oh, the herb for pain, yeah, yeah. I'm considering that if some of my pains don't go away, might try some edibles or something. See if it actually helps. If I can find something that I can actually tolerate, that doesn't just blitzkrieg me out of my mind for 6 hours. Yeah, Major League Sports in general. Yeah, I used to watch the UFC back when it was the UFC. Back when it was in the '90s. But yeah, I don't even watch that shit anymore. Yeah, yeah, sedition. Yeah, the MMA, UFC. I don't think that. Especially that dude's stance on a lot of things. I agree with what they have done. I agree that they don't ban people from talking. The athletes. Uh, they have that guy. Shit, I can't remember his name now. It's I'm mind blanking on that. The bald guy, the head of the UFC, he said some awesome shit. So yeah, I I I would support the UFC if I had time, and I just don't have time right now. But that's one professional sport that I would support. I would watch. Yeah, political fatigue with the sports V. Yeah, that too. Yeah, Brad, exactly. Give them circuses. That's a famous quote from the Roman era, and it applies today. Connecting the rabbit holes. What's up? Glad to see you here. Glad you can make it. The 90% moonshine of THC, Jeff. Blackberry brandy tastes like candy and bad choices. Oh, they actually still have a mom and pop breakfast? That's awesome. I don't even know. I don't even think we have any around here. Okay, Duncan, yeah. As long as they haven't been bought out by one of the huge multinational, monopolies. Yeah, living that, yeah, that's my kind of my where I'm at too. It just hurts. What am I gonna do? Crying about it ain't gonna get me anywhere. Benjamin Franklin. Yeah, MJ. Yep, it's both sides. Yeah. The mushroom coffee. I haven't tried that. It's analog. I saw it somewhere, maybe on Amazon or something, but I haven't tried it yet. 2CTV. I've never heard of that. Dana White. Yeah, Chaz. That's the guy I was mind blanking on. Yeah. OG. Yeah. Yeah. Moving on to your phone. Yeah. Underground. Yeah. He says crazy shit, and they let him. I saw an interview with Dana White where somebody was interviewing him, and he says, I can't believe you let your guys say that. You let your guys talk like that and stuff. Talking about the fighters, and Dana White was like, "Hold up, dude. What do you mean? I let them say that? They're people. We have freedom of speech in this country. I don't let them say shit. They speak their mind. I don't. Who am I to try to control what they say?" And ever since that, I watched that interview. I've had respect for that guy Dana White. Yeah, so that's one sport, right? And it could change. You know what I mean? It could change in the future, but from what I've seen recently, that Dana White's a real dude, and um, it would, in my opinion, it'd be hard to fake that kind of emotion. You know what I mean? Because Dana White looked pissed off. So I mean, he could have been acting or whatever, of course, but prototype analog. Yeah, I haven't heard. I don't think I've ever heard that. Dana White's a piece of shit. Why do you say that, Underground? He say some shit or do some shit that I'm unaware of. AF, there she is. What's up, AF? Glad to see you here. Mushroom, you like mushroom coffee, MJ? I've never had it. I'm gonna try it one of these days. Oh, Dana White is a Vegas gangster. See, that some stuff I'm just not aware of. All I see him on her interview, and he says some stuff that you know that rings true with me, and so I respect the guy. But I didn't know, I don't know all his history and shit. Midol, okay, that shit is awesome. What is Midol? Hurst. What is that? Like a pain reliever, like ibuprofen or something? Your brain's not awake yet, AF. You can't take ibuprofen, Shannon. A lot of people can't because isn't it hard on your stomach or something? And here's a crit. Oh, okay. Oh, all right. He never faked a fight. Okay. But my entire life, I didn't get married until I was 40, what, how, 41 when I got married. And my entire life, I would just take, I hardly ever took, I mean, literally, I would take Tylenol or aspirin or something, once every 5 years, maybe. But my entire life, I just shake some out and take them, whatever. And then I got married, and my wife saw me doing that, and she was like, "Hold up, wait, you can't do that." And what do you mean? Uh, you can only take like so many of those. There's a prescribed dose. You got to read the bottle, and it tells you how many you can take on there. And she knows all this stuff by heart. Tylenol you can take 2, ibuprofen you take 4, or whatever. And it was just an eye opening thing for me when when she pointed that out, and I realized that you're actually supposed to take so many of these. I would just shake them out and take them, and you know all the way up until I got married. So, but luckily I didn't take a lot of any of that shit. Only once in a blue moon I would take some Tylenol or whatever. They must have bad cramps, V. So my doll is for cramps. You push your fingers into your eyes. That's the only thing that'll stop the pain. Every weekend in Chicago, yeah, that would take a lot of energy. Slipknot, psycho, psychosocial, yeah. Shroom tea, oh yeah, yeah. I've I have partaken in that, and that was fun. Then you're a dentist, Jeff. Don't eat the baby humans. All right, that's a good tip. Everybody, don't eat baby humans. Don't do that. Now, living bacon mushroom Swiss burger. Now you've got me wanting one. Yeah, mind over matter, V. And what they told us in the army is that pain is weakness leaving the body. If that's the case, then I should be the strongest son of a bitch alive. Help, warm, damp washcloth. Okay, Duncan. Yeah, I'm lucky that way. I almost never get headaches. I didn't get my first headache until I think I was 30, and now I get them. I might get one headache a year, mostly because my sinuses. It's something actual that happens. I don't just wake up with a headache. It's because I was cutting cinder blocks with a grinder or something, or a cutoff saw, and that dust, it's really super fine, like the consistency of flour, and that dust is everywhere, and you breathe it, and my sinuses will get full of that dust, and that'll cause me to have a headache. That's normally when I get a headache, was when if I was breathing some shit at work. Tylenol kills livers. I don't have sisters. I knew my doll was for cramps. Okay. To walk lightly around it, Christopher. Burger King had a great mushroom and Swiss burger. I didn't know that. Well, we're glad to have you and Tripwire back, Vintage. We need our Aussies here to keep us grounded. Oh yeah, drinking that black stuff that looks like charcoal. Yeah, hell yeah, Hearst. You know how many cavemen died eating those damn things? Because like most of the mushrooms are poisonous. No, Erica, no, I don't eat McDonald's. I haven't eaten at McDonald's probably in 20 years. The last really fast food I ate at was Burger King. No, I ate at Hardee's or something like that not too long ago, but still, it had been years before that. Yeah, MJ. Well, that's the thing. That's the way society is going. Everybody wants everything to be convenient and quick. Everybody's sick, overweight, and we're all ordering shit, ordering food, and eating fast food. Nobody wants to cook for themselves anymore, let alone grow food. You know, nobody even wants to cook food anymore, let alone grow it themselves. And I believe that all that quick, fast, processed junk is a large reason for our ill health nowadays. Raj, what's up, Raj? It had a great anything ever burger. Was that the name of the burger? Anything ever burger? Yeah, that sounds good. I don't know if last time I ate at Burger King, it just tasted like shit, and I don't know if that was that particular establishment, or what. Maybe that cook was pissed off. I don't know, but um, it was just bad, and I haven't been back. That was several years ago. Filtered thyme or thyme. Okay, all right. I drink cayenne pepper, black pepper, and shit. one of those one of those herbs. I'll think of it here in a minute. But yeah, I have a little cocktail I drink every morning with it's cayenne pepper, black pepper, and grapefruit juice with with the herb that's supposed to reduce inflammation. All right, Christopher, thanks for dropping by, dude. Oh, okay, yeah. So Midol is a mix of ibuprofen and caffeine. Oh, okay. Wendy's Junior Bacon Biggie Bag. I haven't been to Wendy's in literally decades. They might be all right as far as taste it goes. But like that, every once in a while, when you're working across the city, I would eat that once in a while. I just can't do that shit every day. Yeah, V, we're the Gen X tribe. Yeah, you got that right. Nothing burger. Yeah, yeah, Duncan, stress. Yeah, stress is a killer. I've heard that many times, and it's true. Hearst, two Whopper Juniors are your go-to. Oh, okay. All right, Raj. Everything Burger King makes is the best. All right. Holy shit. Yeah, MJ. That's crazy. 12, oh, two 12 dozen donuts and extra large coffee every morning. All right, Living, be cool, buddy. Glad you stopped by, man. Oh yeah, it's that time anyway. Marijuana herbs? No, no. It's uh, yeah. Jeff, cayenne is very healthy. It's very good for you. Turmeric, yes, vintage. Thank you. See, vintage had to come from Australia to be the other half of my missing brain. Thank you, vintage. Yeah, turmeric. So cayenne, black pepper, and turmeric mixed up in grapefruit juice. That's what I drink every morning, and I think it helps. I know it. I know the cayenne definitely does. I have absolute proof that it does. And I've heard a lot of good research on cayenne and the heart and blood, your blood and your heart, your circulatory system. So yeah. Pico de Gallo, AF, Whataburger, heart attack grill. Yeah, the hell with stress, dude. Yeah. This is my anti-stress club here. All right, everybody. I gotta let you go. And let's see. Um, I will say goodbye to Chaz, Living and Active, Electronic Music Underground, MJ, Hurst, Hanging with Christopher, Tripwire, my boy Jeff Boyardee, OG Tango, Raj, Brad Davis, Jeff Seven, Vintage, Duncan, Raziel. Who else we got? V Intuitive, AF. Did I say Chaz already? Well, we all know Chaz deserves two goodbyes anyway. So goodbye again, Chaz. Tomcat. Can't forget Tomcat. Erica. Erica, Analog Kid. Goodbye to Erica and Analog Kid. Did I say Christopher already? Shannon. Electronic Music Underground. Dog Karma. All right. I think I've got almost everybody. If I missed your name, I apologize. Ski, Jim from Maryland. If I miss your name, I apologize. Did I say Tomcat? But thank you. Jason Cheney, Connecting the Rabbit Holes. I thank you nonetheless, even if I missed your name. Thank you for showing up and hanging out with me. I know it's early in the morning for a lot of y'all, but this is the only time I really have to do it. So thank you very much for coming and hanging out with me. I appreciate it. We need to talk about good common sense stuff, and maybe one day we might come to a solution. We might come up with a solution for some of this shit. As for right now, the best advice I can give you is stop voting for damn lawyers. Democrat, Republican, whatever. Let's stop electing lawyers. we can do that. Let's make that let's set the bar there for right now. We can raise the bar if we want later on, but let's set the bar there. No more lawyers, man. We can do without the lawyers. Oliver Russ, goodbye, Oliver. Let's see. And who are we going to dedicate today's spiel to? I think we should dedicate it working 9 to 5. Goodbye, working. We're going to dedicate it to Vintage because he has blessed us with his presence from down under. So thank you, Vintage. Thank you for coming by and hanging out with us. And this spiel is for you, buddy. As always, stay frosty, Gen X, and I'll see you on the next one. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and comment. If you'd like to support the channel by becoming a member, it's only $2.99 a month, and I'll put that link down in the description, or you can head over to the channel page and become a member that way. But I really appreciate all the support from the members out there. This is the members banner here. And I really appreciate these people. They support the channel directly through memberships, and it helps out a lot, so thank you very much to all the members. If you're interested in Gen X gear, we got some pretty cool stuff over there at Redbubble. Gen X things and Gen X branded stuff, t-shirts, coffee mugs, stickers, hoodies, all kinds of stuff. But I'll leave that link down in the description too for any of you who are interested. If you have any ideas for future episodes of Gen X Things, please put those down in the comments, or you can email us, and the email is genxthings@gmail.com. And as always, stay frosty, Gen X, and I'll see you on the next one.